Hello YouTubers, today I got a PlayStation 4 Slim board here. This one came in with disk drive issues where it wasn't accepting disk. Wouldn't even power up the system with because a spring came loose. Let's see, I can show you on the, I don't have the panel taken apart, but if you take this panel apart, there's a spring here that applies pressure on the ejection things that sense for the switch. So it was stuck open constantly because the spring wasn't there. So what it did is it probably fried something on the board, and so what we're going to do is we're going to test and see if some of the fuses blew, because most likely with the drive running constantly, you know, thinking it's trying to accept the disk instead of burning out the motors or anything else, there usually it blows a fuse. So this is the Slim board. I haven't personally fixed any drive issues with these. I mean, with circuitry being blown on the older Fats and the Pros, yes, but not this model. This is a SAD-001. There's the number right there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna switch to side camera. You can see that number there. So that's the number. So what I do is I got my meter on continuity mode, and we're just going to go through, test some of the fuses. So you're just going to look for F's on the board. So we got one here, we got one there. Light is too bright or something, I don't know, the white balance. So we got one here in the area, one here. Got another one over here in this area. We got one in this area somewhere. Right here. One in this area. Right there. Do we have one over here? Normally the area you want to be in right here, but we have all the drive chip stuff over here, so I'm thinking something over here in this area. Just looking for any other ones. Flip the board around. Side B, like how they label that. I don't see any that point out at me. Oh, there's one over here. So there's one fuse there. That would be by the, you know, the Blu-ray drive right here. So any of this area right here, nothing looks fried. So that's the only fuse I see over here on this side. And then we come back to the other side, it continues. So let's just start checking fuses. So we got the one over here. There's actually two fuses over here. As you can see the numbers. 102 and 104. So let's test these guys. Alright, so we're getting beeped there. Alright, we're getting a beep there. Those are good. There's one over here too. This little guy. Alright, that one's beeping, that's good. Check that other side. This fuse over here. First one you should probably be checking right here. Alright, that one's beeping, that one's good. Let's go back. We only got two more fuses to check that I found. So we're over here. So we're going to test these two guys. That one's good. Okay, I'm not getting nothing out of this guy, I don't think. Double check there. Yeah, I'm not getting none. So this guy must be blowing right here. So that's what the cause is. From the disk drive constantly running. Yeah, that one's good. So that's our problem right there. I mean, if you're not thinking you can make, you're not making good connection, because you do gotta probe these things. I'm not getting nothing. Let's see on the top side here. Nothing. So we need to replace that fuse right there. Be cool if they actually, you know, with the like the line inside there. Be cool if it told you if it was blowing somehow, you know. Like a fuse. So that's what it is. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna replace that. Put another one on there. You can use hot air. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna use my iron, heat it up, get it off the board. Definitely want to get the fume extractor rolling. So we're gonna add some flux. There we go, that guy's gone. There we go, we got two nice little pads there. So I'm gonna grab a fuse here. Wrong one. Grab a Y fuse. It's a little bigger, as you can see. But we'll make it work. What we're going to do is we're just going to add a little bit more solder to that pad there. Well, it's a via, it goes to the other side of the board. It's the same thing. So we'll use that just because the fuse is a little bigger. Come in with some hot air. Temperature on. Turn my speed down, the air. There we go. Just gonna add a little bit more flux to it. I'll solder those ends up. So this fuse is from, the disk drive's from the older, but not the older, but you know, the ps4s, the model before, so they're a little bigger. Same fuse. See, we just put it in there just a little sideways. You know, because the donor board for one of these is going to be expensive. So, you know, your best bet is just to get a PlayStation 4 original model one, or it could be a couple models too, but as long as it's not a slim, you know, you could just get it, and you can see there's a Y in there. So we're just going to clean this up pretty good, so we don't leave no flux behind. Alright, that's good. Now we can test it. Make sure it's working. There we go. Make sure this one's working. Alright. We're good to go. So now we could just put it back together. Put the probes away because we should be done with those. Yeah. So most likely this failed is just because of the disk drive operating at all times. It's to stop the chips from frying or the motors frying out. It's like a little protection so the fuses blow all the time. So we're gonna have to clean off this, put some new thermal paste down. Thermal paste is kind of soft, you know, because it's the newer system, so. Usually it's all hard and crispy. Alright, grab some paste. It's crazy how small the die packet is now on these. The package of the chip. Looks like they still spaced out the APU. Alright. Good to go. Alright, so now we just need to assemble the system back together. So let's do that and see if it accepts disk. And that was all due to a spring popping off. I don't know why the spring was popped off. Maybe trying to force the disk in there. I don't know. But see, what's crazy about it is now the system won't, if it doesn't recognize the, obviously it wasn't supplying power to that chip, it won't do the update. So now you're just stuck. You can't even use, even if the drive is broken, you can't even use the system now because Sony decided to, I think, basically brick your device if your CD drive's not working, which is not cool. And it's something new that just started happening. You know, because you could download your own games and stuff like that. So it doesn't make no sense that they're going to be doing that now. And that's just to brick people's customers' stuff. So they had to be forced to buy a new game console. Your average person is not going to go through and replace these little fuses like that. I mean, it's possible. You could do it with the little small soldering iron without a microscope. They're still big enough to do it. I mean, it's small, but It's just kind of sad if they're doing that, bricking people's systems, so they have to force them to buy new ones. It's just kind of frustrating, and I've been seeing that with a lot of the PlayStation 4s. I don't know if you guys fix game consoles, but if you do, you leave a comment below. If you ran into the issue a lot now. So we're going to clean this whole thermal paste off right here. But I mean, just because of this disk drive not working, it wouldn't take an update. It said there's an update available. And you can't log on their servers for your games if they're requiring you for an update. So I don't know about that whole thing. Alright, so you need to put the metal shield on before you put this stuff on. Alright, we got that in place. We put a couple, I'm not going to bore you guys with putting it all back together. Just put a couple screws here. Holding this down. We'll plug in the cables and test it real quick. Put the hard drive in it. And you know, they added so many dang screws to it. Well, we gotta plug our plug in first. Cancel that one. Pull this back out. Dang it. It made this thing a pain in the butt. Now we can put some screws in to hold it. Guess the customer did try taking it apart and fixing it. Lucky I found the spring. It was sitting there when I took it apart. I had to go searching for some springs on this one, you know. 'Cause those are gonna be that's gonna be a common thing, I believe. Especially with these slims. And see what's fortunate, you know, if you try replacing the CD drive on this one, they have all the chips on the board now, which is kind of cool. Because, you know, the CD drive is married, the components, to the motherboard. I've seen one power thing that would be used for that, but let's see. get these on because I'm not going to take this back off. How they built the power supply, it's like so thin. Not made good. I mean, they should have put some screws over here to hold it, and then sides over here so you can pull out without being a pain in the butt to take apart. So we're gonna plug this in. And then too, how they got the capacitors, the main capacitors, you know, out and open like that, you could almost stick your finger in there and shock yourself. So that's kind of dangerous right there. So make sure if you're younger you're doing this, and make sure you're supervised or something. So that could kill you. Put this all in here. Yeah, I don't care for these power supplies. Push down in the center. Alright, let's pop our hard drive in and we'll test it. See if it accepts disk. Alright, so flipped over this way. Got everything plugged in. I am gonna have to grab a disc. Alright, so I got a DVD here. Switch my switcher. Alright, so we're going to plug this in. Alright, it's plugged in. Now, before it would kick it on after I put the spring on, it would see, like it would want to kick the system on. And so let's see, we turn the system on. Should just take it when trying to put the disc in. There we go. We got something going on. There we go. It took the disc. So that was the issue. So the issue was the spring broke here. It came off, so it kept the swinging things that recognized and sensed the CD when you try to put it in. That's how it powered up, by me pushing it in. It hits a switch and then it hits another switch once it sees the system. It recognizes the disc that senses it and tells it, okay, there's a disc in here. Well, that being stuck open all the time like that would cause the issue, which blew the one fuse. You thought it would blow two of them. All right, now start DVD. Alright, there we go. It's playing. I don't know if you guys get... working. Yeah, so does recognize disc. See if the eject works. Got a little plastic tool, small little buttons there. I ain't got no nails. There we go. So by it thinking that it had a disc and it tried accepting it, but then it didn't recognize it because the other switch didn't engage with it. And these drawers, the I don't know what you would call them, arms, these arms, they were stuck open in the open position because of the spring. And that just made it run, and basically blew the fuse before shutting down, protecting, you know, the chip. And you don't want to be frying the chips on these because it's married, that chip is married to the motherboard itself. So we put the disc in there, it accepts. Yeah, so it works. I could power this game console down the right way, power options, turn off PlayStation 4. I'm going to eject my disc first. I'm going to be giving out no free movies now. Power off. So that's all that was wrong with this one. I mean, you can't fix it yourself. I imagine if you got yourself a donor board off eBay or something like that, the older systems. You can see the fuse, it's the same fuses used, just a little bit bigger. We replaced it. Now with the spring attached, that wouldn't be staying open. It's not going to blow that fuse now. If that spring was still detached and these were still open, it would keep trying to think it wants to, you know, the motor moving to try to accept the disc all the time. So instead of burning out the motor or the chips or the components, the fuse blows. So I hope you guys liked the video. I hope this helped you. If you guys get a chance, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Really helps a lot. Also, if you guys haven't subscribed to my channel, hit that subscribe button. That helps. And as always, thanks for watching.